It's time for another episode of Between Two Succulents. Now, here's your host, a friendly neighborhood bookstore owner, Daven Ralston.
Hello. Thank you, Joe, aka husband. Hey, book friends, and welcome to another episode of Between Two Succulents. It's Daven here, your local friendly bookstore owner, taking the place of Brandon this week. And I'm so excited to invite our next guest onto the show. She is an American author, a journalist, a two-time recipient of the Pushcart Prize for her stories 42, published in the New England Review, and Suburban Weekend, published in Granta. Her 2019 book, Three Women, became a New York Times bestseller. Please welcome to the show, Lisa Taddeo.
Hi. Hey, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, thank you. Happy to be here.
Happy you're here. So today we're talking with you about your sophomore fiction novel, Animal. You might have heard, everyone watching, that her nonfiction work, Three Women, has been picked up by Showtime for production in the fall. Woo woo! But until then, she is the perfect champion for a segment we like to call Aw Sucks. Okay, Lisa. I'm going to introduce you to our succulent VIPs for the week, and you're going to tell me which one makes you feel more like predator than prey.
Okay.
Are you ready?
All right. Yeah.
Lisa, today we have two beautiful succulents, the sedum golden glow and the cryptanthus?
Cryptanthus, yes.
Cryptanthus! The sedum golden glow. This trailing succulent forms miniature golden rosettes with leaves shaped like footballs. Its tips turn red when exposed to lots of sun or when stressed. You can expect white blossoms in the spring, and it does well in full to partial sun. Is not cold hardy and enjoys rock gardens and hanging baskets. That's the sedum golden glow. Woo-hoo! And next we have the cryptanthus, also called the earth star because it looks like little twinkling stars. This plant can be found in almost any condition. You can use ordinary flower pots when planting, as this flower is not capricious, even though it needs high humidity. After cryptanthus buds and blooms, he dies. But before that, around it grows many, many children or pups, which you can propagate because of its large root system. Lisa, which one's it gonna be?
Oh, God. I mean, the second one, the Earth Star, is predator for sure. That is a scary thing. Plus, anything that propagates that much is, you got to watch out for that.
It's very prolific. And I also read that the leaves have these little teeth on them. So very predatory.
Wow.
Very predatory.
Okay, great.
Excellent choice.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you for playing. All right, so
sure.
Let's get into the book. In your novel, Animal, Joan is a survivor of many instances of trauma and violence. Full disclosure, I love this book, so I'm going to try not to gush. But I felt when I was reading it that Joan was an expression of almost a collective subconscious of feminine rage and retribution. When you were writing the book, did you feel like you were telling one woman's journey or a collective of many female experiences?
Oh, definitely the latter. A lot of it was some, not spillover, but I had spoken to so many women for Three Women, and so many of their stories were still so part of me that it's definitely a collective story. I mean, so many things were actual true events that happened to either me or women that I spoke to at length about their lives, or just even friends and family. So yes, definitely collective was my hope, but I tried to tell it from a sort of a certain viewpoint, but it was definitely taking into account many stories.
Yeah. I mean, that being said, I felt like I could see many women's stories in it when I was reading it, but it felt very much also like a singular story. It was so well weaved together and so powerful, and I just found Joan so believable. So I thought it was very well done.
Thank you.
So, continuing on that vein, historically, the horror genre has been considered a male genre. I was discussing this, a little bit of context, with we have a romance book club called Book Sluts, and we were talking
Cool.
about the genre. It's pretty great. We sell t-shirts.
It sounds like a good t-shirt.
It is a great t-shirt. So we were talking about how the romance genre has historically been, considered women's fiction or a women's genre. And in sort of contrast, horror is a lot of times dubbed as a male genre, a lot of times because of the focus on the male gaze in horror and the fetishization of women. And something that I really loved about your novel is that there were elements of horror throughout it, with the visceral, raw, and almost vulgar graphic language and storytelling. And as a woman, I found the full exploration of Joan's interior life, even those horrifying bits or ugly bits, very cathartic. And so I'm just wondering, I know this is something that you've also explored in Three Women, the interior lives of women, and do you find it difficult to write those more grotesque parts of someone's story, or do you find it almost a relief to push against that pressure to write, relatable, likable female characters?
I like writing real characters, and I like writing characters that I think the notion of a likable character, like, I don't read books to make friends, in a sense, like I read books to learn new things, different ways of life, different experiences, different lived experiences. And a main character who has some secrets from me, the reader, is someone that I'm interested in. That, I want to know, I want to be tricked by someone who's smart, and I want to be brought along their story in a way. I want it to be more of, so I guess I grew up reading a lot of horror, a lot of Stephen King, a lot of, just all kinds of John Saul, and then Piers Anthony, and lots of J.R. Tolkien, that kind of stuff. So I grew up in that kind of world, but also then in the literary fiction, like Natalia Ginsburg and Lucia Berlin and Grace Paley. So I'm very much of both those minds, and I think that it's not that usual. It's not that women don't write horror, but it's that women don't write horror plus in a certain, I don't know. I don't think that there's who does it brilliantly, actually, because
Yeah.
I was trying to think of someone who combines the two in a way that is just totally amazing to me. Is Samantha Schweblin, who wrote Fever Dream, which I think is one of the most gorgeous. It's true, real life horror. It's beautiful. Anyway, yeah, I don't think that there's enough of that for me, because that's what I want to read. So I basically wrote something in a genre that I wanted to read.
Oh, that's awesome. I'm gonna have to keep that Fever Dream. I'm gonna have to keep that in my mind, because I actually, when I was writing this question, was trying to think of women who write what I would consider to be, books that fall into a horror genre, and it's just so few and far between. And of course, I think of Shirley Jackson, and even her horror is more about the horror of people and society and how they can treat people, and that's one of the things that I really love. I feel like you hit on that so well in the book. So
Thanks.
It's awesome. Well, Lisa, you have written a book that reveals what it takes to survive the wilds of contemporary life. So I think you'll fare well in our next segment, which is the lightning round.
Oh, I love lightning round.
So I'm going to ask you 3 questions, and if you answer them correctly, a viewer on our stream will win the prize of all prizes, a free copy of Animal, and the complimentary Animal tote, which I have
Cool.
one. It's awesome, and we still have a few left. And just so everyone who's watching knows, make sure you leave a little bit of a comment so that we know we can pick from you. All right, Lisa, are you ready?
Yes.
All right. Question 1. Joan lives in the hills of LA where coyotes are a constant danger, and she has a near encounter with one in the book. Who do you think would win in a fight, Joan or a coyote, and why?
I think Joan, at that point in the book, specifically because she has nothing left to lose, or at least doesn't think so. I think that the winner is always, it might not be the actual emotional winner, but the winner is the person who has the least to lose.
Awesome. Nice. You have got it correct. And I 100% agree with you. I was like, Joan would take that coyote down. What 2 books do you have to read before summer's end?
Oh, the new Sally Rooney, which I just got a couple of days ago. I'm really excited about. And wait, something else I just got. Your Mind on Plants, Michael Pollan.
Oh,
Haven't read it yet, and I'm really excited too.
Perfect. Yeah, I just have got the arc of the Sally Rooney. I'm very excited as well.
Yeah.
You got that correct. Those are the only
Yay.
possible correct choices. Hey! All right. Final question. As we mentioned before earlier, your 2019 book, 3 Women, has been optioned by Showtime. Can you or will you name actors you would love to see in those roles? Or I know one of them has possibly already been cast, so...
I can't. There's a lot of people that I like, and I think I'm going to be happy with whoever it ends up being. But Shailene Woodley is playing Gia, which is the sort of writer character, and DeWanda Wise is playing Sloane.
Woo!
You heard it here first, folks.
That is correct. Yay! And whoever the other 2 end up being, I agree with you, will be fantastic.
Thank you.
All right. So, Lisa, you are our lightning round champion. So someone has won a book. Joe, who's our lucky prize winner?
Devin, our lucky prize winner is none other than Lisa Ralston.
Hey!
Yeah! Because only her and one other person left a comment.
We tried.
But Lisa, we got great viewership. Just nobody's coming.
We know we're still, yeah. You got to leave those comments, y'all. You can't get considered for that prize. But I'm actually very excited for my mom to read this book because it's the type of book that I finished and I was like, I have to give this book to my mother.
That's so great.
Because
Wow.
Well, I hope so great job, Mom.
Okay. I always get a little freaked out when people tell me their moms are reading it. I'm like, oh, I wouldn't have written it if mine were still around.
No, my mom, she's a cool mom. She's a cool mom. And she also is like really into like gritty female characters. So
okay, great.
I think she's going to be really into it.
And her name is Lisa, which is already
yes, that's right.
Huge.
So it can't be wrong, really.
Exactly.
All right. So, Lisa,
yes.
What is next for you? Are you getting a massage? Are you doing some creative project? Are you going to dinner? Are you going to gaze out of your window quietly?
After we get off, there's going to be an audition on Zoom for Maggie, for one actress tonight. Yeah, so that'll be exciting.
Oh my God, that's so cool.
Yeah, and Lisa, we'd be remiss not to mention that everyone at Charm City Books is also an actor.
If you need any extras.
Great.
Well, that is literally everyone.
And, I'm not bragging, but Entertainment Weekly just mentioned my movie Savage Nature as something to stream. So,
cool. I'll write that down.
Lisa.
I'm writing it down. Savage Nature.
Yeah.
All right, cool. I'll look it up.
The other night. Yeah.
Awesome.
It's funny how that all worked out. The theater world is small. Awesome. Well, best of luck with the auditions.
Thank
I know it's
you.
really fun, but it can be like, you really
Draining.
want the person to do well. Yes, and great.
Yes, it's draining, and it's like every person, I'm just like, oh my God, I can't imagine what that must be like. I mean, you guys, your whole bookstore apparently can, but I'm always like, I just want everybody to be happy, and I can't handle being the, whatever.
The person who says no. I know.
Nobody blames you, Lisa. They blame their agent.
That's so funny because I don't blame my agent for anything. I wish I felt that way more. I'm always like, what did I do wrong? Oh, I got to get on that. I got to do that.
Just when in doubt, blame the agent.
Okay.
All right. So before we go, are there any organizations or causes that you'd like to take this opportunity to tell our viewers about?
Oh gosh. Nothing specific that I know. Sorry. I mean, that was like the craziest. Yes, I have a lot of things, but like, oh my God, support your local bookstore. I give a lot to charities supporting the elderly. That's my biggest thing. Nice. Because I don't have parents, so I feel like it's my way of. Also, I feel like in our country we probably have the worst attitude towards
older care.
Yeah, is awful. So I just. That's something that's really big for me. So I just don't do specific like here. I don't have that anyway.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. We were just having a conversation about the elder care in this country, and how terrible it was. So, all right, everybody. Lisa Taddeo spins a stunning and shocking tale of survival in her book Animal, which is available here at Charm City Books. Lisa, thank you for taking the time to chat with us today.
Thank you.
We appreciate it. I know you have a busy evening planned, so it's been awesome to have you on the show.
Same here. Thank you so much for having me. This is lovely.
Awesome.
Really great, guys. Cool.
And everyone who's watching, thank you for braving the wilds of social media to spend a few moments between two succulents. And we'll see you next week, or Brandon will see you next week. Stay hydrated, everyone. Get vaccinated, please, and pick up a new book right here at Charm City Books. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Thanks, guys.